Yeah, the NPA entered into a plea deal with Vusimuzi Matlala, one of the member of the Big Five cartels. Yes.
That the proceedings are as per Section 105, capital A of the Criminal Procedure Act.
That is indeed correct, Your Worship.
Advocate, can you please submit proof that the prosecutor who participated in the plea and sentence agreement has been authorized thereto in writing by the National Directorate of Public Prosecution, this in compliance with Section 105A, subsection 1, subsection A?
Your Worship, I hand in a certificate to the court that has been signed by Advocate Andrea Johnson, the investigating director of the Investigating Directorate Against Corruption.
Yes. To get indemnity, so Vusimuzi Matlala became a Section 204 witness. And the worst part about this Section 204 witness is that IDAC doesn't have to win the case against Matlala's co-accused or against the people Matlala would be implicating in this entire scheme. It doesn't have to win a case. So in high-profile complex corruption, fraud, and organized crime cases, Section 204 is frequently paired with Section 105, which is 105A, which is a plea and sentencing agreement. So Matlala, an accused, might plead guilty to minor charges and accept a negotiated, partially suspended sentence under Section 105A on the structural condition that they act as a Section 204 state witness to successfully take down high-ranking syndicate leaders or state officials. Yes, the plea bargain in the court is only around financial crimes, the 228 million rand fraud, SAPS Medicare 24 tender fraud. It does not include other charges Matlala is facing, including attempted murder of some whistleblower, including Babita Deokaran, Tembisa Hospital, allegedly is linked to that one. 25 criminal charges, including 11 counts of attempted murder, is stand to accuse of, including one prominent one was the one with his ex-girlfriend in 2023. So this one, it feels stomach-turning to watch a man who allegedly masterminded violent assassination, forcing an innocent woman to flee the country in fear. So, and stole millions in taxpayer money, sit in a courtroom, negotiate a significantly reduced sentence. It feels like the state is bargaining with the monster. The moral conflict that I'm feeling right now comes down to a clash between two fundamental different concepts of justice. So there is a retributive justice. What our morals demand is that, the human instinct is that the punishment must fit the crime versus the utilitarian justice, what the legal system uses, which is a calculated strategy that prosecutors use in order to ring and get massive information around this organized crime ring and realize that if they just prosecuted one person, they may not realize the full extent of this syndicate. So what they do this maneuvering. And this maneuvering it's really immoral. It's immoral. This maneuvering. I mean, from an analytical point of view, I can understand why they would do this. It's like, you want one person to get a plea deal so you can get the entire group. Sounds okay. But when you think about morally about Jesus, They're just begging with the monster. I mean, yeah, these are the two concepts of justice that are, one has to really acknowledge all of them. I'm just acknowledging them. The two of them exist, and the two of them have utility. I just hope for their sake they're correct here, because Matlala seems to me like a really hardcore criminal, a person who can manipulate the situation and tells you lies, and you can fall for it. I don't know. I just don't trust him. That's all. And and interesting that this plea deal, Matlala doesn't have to, get a conviction. Whatever information he tells them, IDAC doesn't have to get a conviction of Matlala's co-accused. So it's still a hard pill to swallow. The risks they're willing to take to trust this man, to say this man is now honest, he changed, he's a convict. Oh my goodness, it's horrible to think about that. But that's how justice system works. We have to put all of this into perspective. That is, in a utility of the justice utilitarian, how justice system is being used, we have to balance all facts. Missing out the organized networks, the shadow states, and gaining more. And I hope for the sake they gain more. I just hope they are going to gain more information. For the IDAC survival, I hope they gain more information for their sake. And I hope they get conviction, because it's a hard pill to swallow. All right, that you negotiated a half sentence for a monster. I mean, the mastermind of violent assassination, forcing an innocent young woman to flee South Africa in fear and stole millions in taxpayer money, sits in a courtroom. Then you negotiate a significant reduced sentences and then end up with no conviction of any of those co-accused, because information you got with just nothing better. For their sake, I hope, for their reputation, I hope this one works out for them. Because to me, when I observe Matlala, his profile, he seemed to be a hardcore criminal, person who you should not trust. So even with the attempted murder trial looming, the fact remains that a suspected cartel leader managed to loot over 50 million rand from the state because a contract was cancelled, walked into a courtroom and successfully negotiate an active sentence down to a single digit time of direct imprisonment for fraud. That is a difficult, pill to swallow, really. It proves that when criminal syndicates grows large enough to penetrate the state, justice stops being about poor morality and turns into a transactional chess match. It becomes really a transactional chess match. It is the definition of institutional pragmatism over moral righteousness, and it leaves a bitter taste in everyone's mouth.